Hi coaches, Mark here from Coachbetter and welcome to our top tips from the World Cup. Today we're going to talk about Saudi Arabia's famous win against the mighty Argentina and talk about the hot topic of the day, Saudi Arabia's high defensive line. So, first and foremost, was it a high defensive line? And we've taken this data from the FIFA technical report. On the left hand side, we can see the average distance between players in the defensive mid-block phase. So ultimately, what's the gap between the furthest, deepest outfield player and the highest outfield player? And we can see that's 25 metres. We can also see at the bottom where that defensive line is based on average when a team's in the mid-block, which most of the time they spend most of their time. And we can see here the average for the tournament is roughly 4 to 5 metres below the centre circle D. On the right-hand side, we can see how significantly different Saudi Arabia approached this game to the average team of the tournament. Not only in terms of distance from front to back, so the deepest outfield player to the furthest forward took 6 metres off the average, but also the height of the defensive line. They've moved pretty much up 6 metres from the average team in this tournament. So, why is it important to keep a high defensive line? Well, ultimately, we want to deny time and space for the opponent. So the more compact we can be as a team, the tighter we can be as a team, the better chance we've got to limit time and space in important areas. But what we've also got to consider is we've got a goal to defend. So in terms of that height of that defensive line, we've ultimately got to make sure we can also deny time and space, but also defend our goal. So we want to keep a high line, but ultimately, when's the right time to hold the high line and when's the right time to drop? And for defenders, this one's for you. We're going to talk about 4 key principles. 1, your body shape. 2, what you can see. 3, pressure on the ball. 4, threats. So, number 1, body shape. Ultimately, let's call it a racing start. Can you position yourself like right-sided defender, not left-sided defender? Why? Right-sided defender is in a position to move quickly forwards or backwards. Left-sided defender, unfortunately, would have to turn to either move backwards or forwards, which, as we know, those split seconds lost can make all the difference. Number 2, are you in a position of defender to see both the ball and the opponent? Now, right side defender ticks the body shape box, but I'm not sure he quite ticks the ability to see the ball and the opponent, which now means whether or not that opponent's offside, it's out of his control. 3, what am I going to assess as a defender to decide whether I hold or I drop? We're going to talk about pressure on the ball. Is there pressure on the ball? And is there a threat to the back line? And only if the answer is yes to both, should I consider dropping. And in this particular scenario, the answer is yes to both. Is there pressure on the ball? No. Are there threats to the back line? Yes. And the best way for me to control this situation, without relying on a mistake from the opponent, is to drop my position. So I would suggest in this example, defender here would drop to a position where he could defend a threat to the back line and any high quality pass through. Now, if the answer to either one of those is no, i.e., yes, is there pressure on the ball? Hold your line. Is there a threat to the back line? No, hold your line. So ultimately, the only time to drop or you consider dropping is there's no pressure on the ball and there's a threat to the back line. Because your job as defenders and a goalkeeper is to manage that yellow box and be confident that even if the perfect run met the perfect pass into that space, you as a defender or the goalkeeper could get to the ball first. So, how do we work on that? Well, we've chosen a practice today that has a couple of things. 1, offsides are in play. And any practice where offsides are in play, we're going to talk about those topics with our players. 2, it's game related and the pitch geography puts us in a place where this would probably happen in the game. In around the 18-yard box, in the final third, in the defensive third, where if we make these wrong decisions, it could cost us in relation to a goal. And we're going to watch this clip straight away, because straight away, let's keep our eyes on the situation developing in this top corner. And remember those principles. Pause. Put yourself in a position of red defender. 1, is there pressure on the ball? The answer is going to be no. He's not going to get there in time to put pressure on the ball. Is there a threat to the back line? Yes. Right, we've got a problem. No pressure, threat to the back line, drop. However, if you don't drop and you make that decision to either hold or step forward, it becomes very easy for the opponent to get in behind your defensive line. What would have happened? Let's fast forward best practice. Pause. He decides to hold his position. There's no pressure on the ball. There's a threat to the back line. Pass gets slid through, problem. No pressure on the ball, threat to the back line, let's drop. I'm pretty sure if he does do that, he gives his teammate enough time to recover, put pressure on the ball and defend that initial threat. Attack stopped. So, good luck coaches in applying this for your practice. Defenders, remember that. Body shape, able to move fast backwards and forwards. Can you see the ball? Can you see the man? And ultimately, what are you considering? Is there pressure on the ball? Is there a threat at the back line? Best of luck.